You take my little hand.
No! Get it away from me!
Take it! Take mine!
You know, I honestly never really cared for horror movies. Sure, there have been some classics throughout the years, but for every Hereditary or Rosemary's Baby, there are 1,000 Halloween Kills.
Evil dies tonight!
So, when I saw the trailers for the new horror movie Talk to Me, I really wasn't expecting much. Yes, it's from A24, who have done a lot for the genre in recent years, but it's a horror movie being released in late July. Everyone knows that the sweet spot for horror movies is the last week of September through Halloween, and typically, if a horror movie is not released in that short window of time, then the movie will be The Pope's Exorcist or Scream 6 level garbage. So, does Talk to Me rise to the occasion and break the bad horror movie stereotype? Or is it just one more big dump in the outhouse that is the horror genre? Let's find out. So Talk to Me revolves around the character Mia, a young Australian high school student who has recently lost her mother, and the emotional distance between her and her father is leaving her feeling very lonely and overwhelmed. After spending the evening with her best friend Jade and her brother Riley, they decide to go to a party. As the night continues, a group of students pulls out a very mysterious party game, because that's what you do in horror movies. You play games.
I want to play a game.
I want to play a game.
Time to play the game!
And the rules of this game are very simple. You light a candle, touch a mysterious plaster hand, and say,
"Talk to me."
Once you do, spirits will enter your body. But you can't do this for longer than 90 seconds or else the spirits will stay inside you. And after a night of playing this game too many times, things start to go horribly wrong, and what was once fun in games turns into a descent into fear and to madness. And I'm just gonna be completely honest with you and say, I really liked this movie. Made by the twin brothers behind the RACKARACKARKS YouTube channel, this movie is very impressive, and these first-time directors really know their way around the camera. They're able to tell a creepy, yet sometimes heartbreaking story, and I really think this directing debut rivals others that we've seen in recent years, like Jordan Peele and John Krasinski. The other thing I really liked about this movie is that they give you time to breathe between scares. Don't get me wrong, when it's time for them, they really show up in a big way. But this isn't a jump scare every minute type of movie. When the scary stuff isn't happening, the movie is wisely digging deeper into the characters. It's rare to see a horror movie that has such big character development, and it was very refreshing. Also, gore effects are used sparingly. It certainly has them when it needs them, but this movie relies on its atmosphere and its actors to bring the scares. It doesn't try to use the typical cheap scare methods that we see in modern horror movies nowadays. And most impressive of all, this movie was made for only $4 million. In a summer where every big budget movie after big budget movie has pretty much been awful, it's refreshing to see filmmakers make something good while working with so little. And it just goes to show that money is no substitute for execution. The acting is also very good, but Sophie Wilde, who plays Mia, does most of the heavy lifting, and she does a great job, not just with the scary stuff, but with the emotional elements as well. One small part that really stood out to me was a moment between her and her dad reading a letter. It's a very emotional scene, and she handles it beautifully. And I would also like to say that it's nice to see a movie about high schoolers with actors who look like they still could possibly be in high school. Growing up in the 90s, high schoolers in movies were played by people who were obviously in their mid to late 20s. I mean, just look at the high school students in I Know What You Did Last Summer, or the entire cast of Scream. I mean, come on, these guys are supposed to be in high school. And finally, I appreciated the overall theme of this movie, which is dealing with your grief in proper ways. The grieving process is just that, a process, and sometimes the steps in that process are not easy to overcome alone. So it's no surprise when people just try to ignore their grief or get through it by destructive means like substance abuse. And that's exactly what's happening when one plays Talk to Me. Playing the game gives the participant a deep euphoric feeling, and it's Maya's chasing of that feeling and her fear of dealing with the grief from her mother's death that ultimately leads to things going bad for the rest of our characters. Talk to Me is not just the title of the movie, but it's really a call of action to the audience. If you're grieving over someone or hurting in any way, talk to somebody. Whether it's a therapist, family member, or a friend, get those feelings out in the open so you can begin to work through them. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about this movie. I was very, very impressed with it, and I'm really looking forward to what these filmmakers bring us next. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Have you seen Talk to Me? What did you think about it? Leave a comment below and let me know. As always, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.